1-year postpartum edition of Can I Be Honest? And today I'm kicking things off by getting honest about an entire year of being a mom of 4, starting with an update on one of the biggest questions I had this time last year. How are my older girls adjusting to their new baby sister? Well, let me tell you. Ellie and Finney are best friends. Ellie actually told me, Benny told me the other day, this is a big deal. Benny told me the other day that her and Finney were going to be best friends. Now, it was were going to be best friends. So it's future tense. And so from that, I think we're not quite there yet, but she has figured out how to make Finn laugh. And as with grown adults, it's the same with children. When they can make a baby laugh, they feel as though that is an accomplishment, as it is. And they've been doing an outstanding job doing that. Now, Wyatt likes to be in charge. Nothing new. So she likes to be given jobs like, hey, put Finney back in the gate when Finn escapes from the living room. Benny only wants to really make her laugh or pretend that she's a baby doll. We're working on it. There's been a lot of things put on Finn's head. And by that, I mean headbands, ears, hats, dresses. And I said on her head. I didn't say on her body because Benny thinks that she can dress Finn. And so she'll just put the dress over her head. And then Finn's sitting there with like a dress covering her face going, and yep. So it's going pretty good. I would say that Finn has an affinity for Ellie right now, but I say right now because it's ever shifting. I will say Finn is not speaking a lot. I'm not going to be that mom that's like, my kid says blah, 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 this many words. No, but I will tell you, one of the things that she likes to do is call for Ellie. And Ellie is sweet enough that Ellie will typically call back. So Ellie will stand in the other room and go, Finny. And Finn will sit in the other room and go, hey. And it's very cute. And she doesn't always do both syllables. And it doesn't always sound like Ellie, but she does try to yell back to Ellie, which is a very cute practice that I encourage a lot. So yeah. It's going well. They have accepted that she is a human being and not just a blob, which is great because now she is sort of toddling along a little bit and trying to get involved. It is very sweet to watch her, which we've seen this with every child, Ellie on, that they just want to be involved. And so to see them sort of crawl into the mix is just very heartwarming. And then when their older sisters actually try to involve them, it is so sweet. Now, that would be like the Instagram version, okay? When she crawls in and she tries to get involved, and then their sisters hand her a Barbie or a toy and try to let her get involved. The real life version, which is, I would say the majority of the time, is when Finn tries to crawl in and get involved, and then she gets yelled at and they try to like edge her out and push her back so that she can't touch the perfectly framed house that they have put together and strategically place the characters that are playing. So just let's manage expectations here. I'm not saying that my kids play nicely all the time. The biggest difference from going from 3 kids to 4 kids, there was a while when we were choosing to try for what is now Finn, where I kept thinking that I had forgotten a child, like that one was missing. I think it had a lot to do with the age that Benny was and the progression, because it just felt like I didn't have a baby with me anymore. Either way, it feels very comfy and whole. It feels very balanced. I love even numbers. I've said that on the show before. Something I often get asked about is age gaps. At this point, after having Wyatt, I was already pregnant with Ellie. That's bananas to me. The idea, I still can't fathom that I got pregnant less than a year postpartum. That is crazy bananas. I when people tell me that they've gotten pregnant, really, I would say within the first year postpartum, I just want to wrap them up in a little burrito and just rock them. I want to rock them because as much as you are excited about it and it's amazing, whoa. Because getting a year out, I was just thinking this the other day, getting a year out feels more stable. And I don't know if it's just the hormone flush or your body going back or your organs being back where they're intended to be, or your joints feeling more stable, or maybe just like sleep is probably better by a year out. All of these things that come together to just make you feel like a year out has been my threshold of where I feel like if I start working out again seriously, that like I might feel strong again, or that I might feel like my body is stable. A 2-year age gap just feels reasonable because you've given your body time to adjust, but you're also not getting so far out that you feel like, why would I start over? Guys, I've told you before, if my last kid gets out of diapers, then the shop is closed, if you catch my drift. I will say, Finny is still just cuddly enough that I do not have an urge for baby right now. Let me just say that. I like to leave it open-ended because I don't want the universe to hear me or my uterus. Nobody's talking to you. But I do think 4 feels good. And that's it for Can I Be Honest? Moving on. Let's get to a segment that's back for another year by popular demand. This time with some updates, presenting the do's and don'ts of talking to postpartum women 1 year after giving birth. First up, gotta start with the good old-fashioned don't. Number 1, don't ask her if she's back to her pre-baby weight yet. Better yet, don't ask her about her weight at all, but I'm going to tell you right now. Pre-baby weight, Kylie? Pre-baby Kylie? Let me say that again. Pre-baby body of Kylie? I don't know her. She doesn't live here. My body built a whole ass human being, okay? And you're going to look at me and you're going to tell me that I'm supposed to get back to pre-baby weight? Okay. If I'm going to get back to pre-baby weight, then you tell my stomach to go back to looking the way it did when I was 24. No? Not going to happen? Well, then you've got your fucking answer. How about that? That's ridiculous. Number 2, do ask how she's feeling a year after giving birth. This is such a great question. Let's check in. Let's care about her thoughts and feelings. Let's ask her how her body's feeling, how she feels a year after birth, how she feels that she kept a tiny human alive for 1 whole year. Good job, Mom. Number 3, unless you are particularly close with Mom, don't ask when the next baby is going to be on the way. Oh, I'm so serious. And I'll speak for myself here. Don't you dare ask if we're going to give it one more try for a boy. I swear to God. I swear to God. Don't ask me. Also, let's just put this into perspective. If you look at me and you say, number 1, are you going to have another one? Or number 2, are you going to try for a boy? You are looking at a woman who has had 4 children in, what was it, 6 years? How are you going to look at a woman who has had 4 children and be like, are you going to have another one soon? Are you going to try for a boy? So, suck my ass. How about that for ASMR? Suck my ass. Number 4, don't ask mothers of 1-year-olds if they're worried about their baby not reaching certain milestones. Ladies, if you are still losing sleep or letting milestones of children rule your thoughts, I'm going to need you to cut that out immediately. I need you to cut it out now, because I'm going to tell you right now, 4 children later, the one thing I can tell you that I've learned, that I've told you a million times, they're all different. I'm telling you that within a group of kids whose gene pool is the same. It's the same gene pool, and all their shit's been different. Okay. So how are we going to compare our kids to the neighbor's kids or your nieces and nephews or your friends' kids? That is some bullshit. Also, if you look at the thresholds, the range at which these children are supposed to be hitting these milestones, why is it so wide? What? That's right, because every kid is different. We got there together. So please don't do that. And also, make sure that we're not putting pressure on anyone else, okay? Sometimes we can say what we want to say. We can be proud of our kids. Wyatt was an early talker. She was. She wanted to chit chat. Ellie, that child didn't utter words. I mean, she said a couple words here and there. She did not speak to us until she was probably 18 months old. Okay? Like, speak to us. Like, really be like, oh, this can help me. Okay? She had words, but she didn't, you know what I'm saying? They're in the same house. They have the same parents that raised them the same way. Very close together, mind you. They were 17 months apart. Okay? Guys, cut it out. Don't let those comparisons steal the joy of the amazing things that you are watching your kids do. And in that same breath, if your kids are having delays and or are not meeting the thresholds, that's okay too. Okay? Because there are things in place to help you support them, and sometimes they're just not fucking ready. Leave them alone.